The VAR Show. The one place for your weekly football update.
Hola, a very warm welcome to the VAR Show, the show which talks about all the various major football leagues in detail. Today we are going to continue the theme of interviews, and we have former Karlsruher SC and also Liverpool club and also VfB Stuttgart striker Mr. Sean Dundee with us. So without wasting much time, I would like to thank Sean for coming on the show. Thank you so much and welcome to the show. And I would like to begin the interview by asking, how are you and what are you doing during this pandemic period?
So far, everything is good here with me and my family. That's the main thing. Otherwise, really, I was doing a little bit of private coaching during the lockdown, and since the Bundesliga started, obviously I'm commentating again. Yesterday, I did the game Schalke against Augsburg, and next weekend again, and then midweek. So they're going to pack the Bundesliga, and hopefully, there's a lot of work for me to do.
So, now we'll get to a lighter topic, that is football, in comparison to what's happening in the world. So, you have played in so many different leagues in different countries. Which league is the one you enjoyed playing in?
Obviously, my time, as a kid growing up, I was a big Everton fan, and I wanted to always play in England. But funny enough, when I was growing up, I was a big fan of the German national team. Jurgen was one of my favorite players back then when I was still young. So when I did eventually come to Germany, I felt at home, and I have to say the time in Germany was for me the best. Obviously in Liverpool didn't work out the way I wanted it to, but after Liverpool I went back to Stuttgart and had a great time there.
So you like, as I mentioned, you have played in so many countries, and every country might be having their own footballing culture. How different were the footballing cultures, like in the ones you have played in?
Yeah, okay. In the beginning, back then when I was playing, obviously there was a big difference between England and Germany. Obviously, in Germany it was a bit slower. The English game was a lot faster. But I think nowadays it's got a little bit more even, and it's really difficult now to see a big comparison because there's so many European coaches coaching in England, and they bring their own style with. So the leagues are a lot the same. Obviously England has all the bigger names, and that's why Germany lacks a little bit more coverage, I say, because there's no real big names except for like Coutinho or Lewandowski, a lot of Sancho. But when you look at England, they have all the big players, big stars, like also in Spain.
So we'll touch on a topic during your time at Liverpool. So you joined Liverpool in July of 1998, but like how you say, you did not enjoy the success you would have hoped for. How would you look back at your time at Liverpool?
No, I did actually an interview not too long ago with people who are like a podcast with a whole lot of Liverpool fans, and I said to them as well, I wasn't well prepared when I went to Liverpool. The season in Germany stopped, I think, a few weeks before the English, and then there was the World Cup, and during that period of time, my mistake was I didn't train too much during the period. So when the season did start again, I was unfit, and then I had to do some catching up. And when I was fit again, I got injured, and that was my time done because a new coach took over, and I wasn't in his plans like a few other players in the team.
So like you said, you were an Everton fan growing up. Did it feel weird playing for Liverpool?
It wasn't weird. It was, how can I say? Obviously, being an Everton fan growing up, you think, oh, Liverpool, you don't like them and things, but that's just something that a football player has to go through. When I was in, also the same thing I had in Karlsruher. After Liverpool, I went to Stuttgart. The two sets of supporters do not like each other at all. And then I came back to Karlsruher after my time in Stuttgart. So it was a bit strange at first, but when I was in Liverpool, you don't think about that. There's a lot of ex-Everton, Liverpool players that were also Everton fans when they were growing up. Michael Owen, Robbie Fowler, Steve McManaman as well. They all supported Everton when they were kids. But when you play the club, you give your best for them, and I'm a Liverpool fan now.
So when you went to Liverpool, you played under a joint manager, Gérard, Houllier and Roy Hodgson. how was it playing under joint managers? Because it's not very common, these days, and even back then it was not very common. So how was it
It,
like?
it was a bit strange because when I first signed, Roy Evans was the manager that signed me. So obviously, when a manager signs a player, you've got a little bit more of the backing of him. And then during, I can't remember exactly how long it was after that Gérard Houllier took over, joint management. It was strange in the league. The players knew Roy for a long time. They thought it was maybe a little bit disrespectful to him. But you know what? They got down, did their job. And when Roy did go, they kind of also knew that probably they were going to do that during the season. If it wasn't going well, that Roy Evans would go and Gérard Houllier would take over. So very strange situation. But it was bad for me when Roy left, and for a few other players as well.
So that time when you were at Liverpool, like you had a lot of good strikers. You had Owen, you had Fowler, to name a few. So how was it like? Yeah. So how was it playing with them? Like, did you see them as a competition? Did it help you evolve your game or something?
I didn't have that much time to try and evolve my game. Obviously, like I said, I had to do some catching up in training, and when I did, I felt good. I mean, obviously, we're different quality strikers. Robbie Fowler and Michael Owen weren't the best in the air. They were more the smaller players. Karl-Heinz, Riedle and myself were more the guys that, with headering and attacking the ball like in the air more. But I got injured, and that was it, So there was no more really time or anything there that I could try and prove myself. So that was a bit upsetting. I mean, I could take more. When I first went to Karlsruher, they had like 5 strikers, and I just come from an amateur team. But I turned down Bayern Munich and joined Karlsruhe, and I tried to learn from everybody. I think it doesn't matter how old you are. You always try and learn from the players that you're training with, and they were all internationals, and I wanted to push myself and get into the team because I knew I could, and I lost a little bit of that bite when I did move on from Karlsruhe, and that was a pity. I think that was also a thing in my career that let me down a bit.
So you were at Liverpool only for 1 year. Like, did the change in manager make you leave after a year, or did you not enjoy playing second fiddle to maybe Owen or other strikers?
No, I said that also not too long ago. I wanted to prove myself. I had got myself fit. I was training, but Gérard Houllier did not want me at all. I was training alone with Paul Ince and a few other players that he didn't want, and I didn't even know anything when they were starting to train or anything. In the one session, I went in the morning because I was training alone with a few players, like I said. And I said, when do they start? And he said, no, they've already left on training camp. So I knew then I had to go. I'd been in contact with a new manager in the time because he said I should leave. My manager back then said, you have to wait, just wait, because I still had 2 years in my contract. But I said, no, I'm not going to stay here anymore. I've got a new agent, and I was lucky enough to move to Stuttgart.
So a lot is said about the Liverpool supporters, and whatever less time you played at Liverpool, how was the Anfield crowd?
Yeah, that was, the first time I experienced that was in pre-season. Obviously, they played a pre-season game against Inter Milan, and because of the fitness, I wasn't really fit. I watched that, and you get goosebumps every time you hear the supporters singing, and I can only imagine now it's got a lot better. I haven't been back to Liverpool since I left in '99, so I'd be interested to go back again. I've been invited a few times, but I just haven't had time.
Okay, do you plan to get into management yourself?
No. When I was growing up, I wanted to be a football professional more than anything in my life. And when I got here and made it, I knew I had done quite a bit to get there. But after my career, it wasn't like I had that hunger to become a coach. I know I enjoy my time with my family. I know that I enjoy being at home, that it's a lot more quiet. And I know that as a manager, it's it's probably even more difficult than being a player. How much time you spend away from the family, away from everything at home, and that's why after my career I didn't say, okay, now I want to be a professional. I want to be a manager. My first roommate in Germany was Thomas Tuchel, the now manager of Paris, and he injured himself early, and he started his managerial career early. And yeah, I mean, it's a long time. It doesn't happen just in a few weeks or a few months that you get it. It takes time. You need to invest a lot of time. But I'm enjoying the coaching, the kids, commentating, and that's satisfying for me.
So as you said that you are commentating for Bundesliga, okay, what is the best part about commentary?
The best part, I mean, it's. I love football, so watching the games every weekend, knowing all the players, I love the Bundesliga. Just put it that way. I just. What can I say about commentary? I'm not the main commentator. I'm the expert. So there's always a commentator that's pretty clued up before a game. He knows everything, and I've got to try and the week before when I get told what games I have to do, I have to do a little bit of work. But it's a lot of fun, and there are a whole lot of guys from England that do the job, that come in from England. Just the German-based commentators do the commentary now, but it's all in English, and they're all great guys, and I love being around them.
So we have one German at Liverpool right now. What do you think about him, Jurgen Klopp?
The best. I've played once against him when he was still in Mainz, so I know I've seen him a few times. We played against each other once. We knocked them out the cup when he was in the first division. We were in the second. But he's a manager. He's gotten better and better and better. And I mean, I think last season when they finished second, you thought that was probably their best chance of winning the league. But you know what? He proved everybody that Liverpool can get better, and they've been incredible this season. And I think that he's enjoying the job, and I think that Liverpool are going to be a major threat for the next few seasons.
So on that note, Sean, I'll ask you one final question. It's a very controversial question. Whom do you prefer, Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo?
Oh, that's easy. Lionel Messi. I love Messi. I love watching Messi play. It's not that I don't like Cristiano Ronaldo. I respect him. His work ethic, the way he works to be the best, one of the best in the world, is incredible. Obviously, Messi's a natural talent, but Ronaldo, I think that I try and use Ronaldo as a when I'm speaking to kids and saying, look at him, how he's worked. He's 30. How old is he now? 33, 34. What is it? He just doesn't give up. He wants to be the best. I think if every kid had to work 50% of what he does, then a lot more young players will make it through to the top.
So I'll make it a little bit harder for you. Whom do you prefer, Sadio Mane or Mohamed Salah?
Mane. Obviously, the first season, Salah was incredible. I just found that Mane has been incredible this season. He's been involved in a lot more, and Salah sometimes a little bit selfish, but that the three of them with Firmino have been great, and it's going to be interesting if Timo Werner does sign, what's going to happen.
So, of course, you have been in close contact with Timo Werner commentating in Bundesliga. What do you think? Will he improve Liverpool? Will he get into the starting 11 first of all?
He would put more pressure on the players that they have there now. I think that you've got to. I think Jurgen Klopp. If you look at the look at the Liverpool team, you look at the City team. The City team has a lot more depth. They can. If Salah or Mane or Firmino get injured, he struggles a little bit to find somebody that has that quality. The English league has so many more games than the German league. They play a lot more games, and having one extra quality striker in the team, if he pushes one of them out, I don't think that's too much of a problem. But I think he needs a little bit more depth, and a Timo Werner would definitely be somebody that can help the squad as well. If he plays or sits on the bench or who goes out, he can rotate a little bit, but I think that's where Jurgen has to try and work a little bit more on the depth. What comes off the bench.
So there's another player who's being linked, that is Kai Havertz with Liverpool. If you had to suggest Klopp, either Werner or Kai Havertz, whom would you suggest?
Well, that's a difficult question because Kai Havertz has been in incredible form as well. He's such a young player. But so what you more or less get around here is that Bayern is probably more interested in staying in the Bundesliga. And I would personally like him to also stay in the Bundesliga, although I'd like to see him at Liverpool. But like I said, the German league needs all these star players, and he's one of the young players that everybody enjoys watching every weekend. And this weekend he scored 2, and I would like to see him definitely stay in the Bundesliga. I'm a Bayern fan myself, so I'd also like them to challenge for the Champions League. And so either Liverpool or Bayern, we'll see.
So it was difficult for you, I guess, last year when Liverpool were playing Bayern?
Yeah, it was a little bit difficult, but I was happy that Liverpool got through. They deserved it. They didn't win the league, and I have a few Manchester United friends, and they were already saying, you guys aren't going to win anything this season, and winning the Champions League really shut them up a bit.
So Sean, on that note, thank you so much for talking to me, and we wish you all the best for your commentary, and hope you launch more games. Like we had launched one long back, I guess, a game.
Yeah.
You had launched a game, right?
That's a long time ago.
Yeah. I was doing my research. So hope you launch more games, and we wish you all the best with your commentary and all other endeavors. Thank you so much.
No problem, and we stay in contact. If you need anything, we can gladly talk about anything that you want. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Especially about the Bundesliga.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
All right. Good. All right.